Welcome to Sociology 101, where we will be discussing race and its effect on society. Before we hop into what race is, let's define sociology first. As complicated as it is and seems, it's pretty simple to grasp. Basically, sociology is our social lives, the study of our social lives, and how each society from different places socialize and function together. Before we discuss race any further, we have to discuss social imagination. And this was a concept created by C. Wright Mills, and it's basically where we look at the world that goes beyond a person's way of thinking and into a sociological view. Now that we can discuss race, race is just the general concept that separates people based on different factors such as ancestral or societal factors. Race is known to be a social construct as it was a man-made creation which separates each person to deem if they were inferior or superior solely based on how they look. So, the impact that race has on society is that it groups people together and it places stereotypes on how each person is based on what their assigned race was. So, grouping people together has a huge impact because, one, it gives whichever given race a harder time in society, and two, separating people into separate races gives people some kind of social unity against something, which might be a good or bad thing. So, the first exhibit and concept that we will be discussing that applies to race is racism. So, racism is the act of thinking one racial category is better or worse than another race. The act of racism is caused by the social creation of race, as the creation of race was racist. It is racist to create something that deems if you are inferior or superior to one another. Exhibit B, or the second concept, would be racial profiling. Racial profiling is when anyone from law enforcement stops and questions a person due to how they look, aka their race. While the cop may not be racist at heart, they still stop and profile the individual because of the general idea that society has made on that certain race. And the last and the third exhibit slash concept we have is stereotypes. Stereotypes are traits that people believe about a certain group, and they're usually negative traits. Stereotypes are a huge part of race as it gives each race an attribute that people perceive and use against them. A perspective of race is the intersection theory, where there are multiple layers on how race is shaped and molded and how oppressions weave into one another. A real life example would be a white woman, a man that's a person of color, and a white man. These three all apply for the same corporate career. The white man gets it, but the man that's a person of color and the white woman do not get it. While this woman is white, she is not a man, right? While he is a man, he is not a white man. So basically, these two share somewhat the same kind of oppression as they have different traits from this white man. So they weave into another. At the end of the day, they both didn't get the same job, but this ideal, quote unquote, ideal minority got.